Oh. Camera's a bit delayed. Okay, I'm not going to be able to use that screen. Let me just see it on the live. No, it's poor quality. So we're going to have to do this way. Okay. Yeah. Sounds like hella back. No. I've moved StreamYard over there, and now I've got to get it back. Bear with me, folks. My laptop's not playing ball. I just need to grab my second screen, bring that back. There we go. Okay. So, comments are on here now on my laptop, not on the big screen, because my laptop doesn't like the second screen being plugged in for some stupid reason. Your view is the same, but apologies for constantly looking down here, because that's where your comments will be. Normally they're up there. Afternoon, folks. Yeah, a slight change of plan, but I think it's one that you might approve of. This is a recipe. I was thinking we tried this not last winter, but the winter before. So when I said earlier that it's about a year in the making, it's actually more like 18 months in the making, because when we did this, it turned more into chips, didn't it? We fried it in the end. So we tried this last weekend, and it failed as usual. That's fine. And then I had a little bit of a think about it, because you have to try a recipe and then remember where you were last time round and why it failed. And so it failed. And then I thought about it. I thought, right, okay. So I wanted to try it again with a little twist. And I literally, less than 3 hours ago, was able to then make. So this hasn't been cooked yet. This is, hi Jan. This is fresh pasta, and it's gone through a machine. It's okay through a machine. It works. It works through a machine, and I would love for somebody who's made pasta more professionally, because I've never made pasta in previous life. So it would be great to sort of get this in the hands of somebody that actually knows what they're doing. But what I was also able to do was make little raviolis. And I just cooked one of these off about an hour ago, and we tasted it. It's like, oh my God. So it actually really, really holds up well. So there are going to be 2 recipes for Panda Pasta. One is a simpler version, and it's the baked version, and then this is the non-baked version. I'm going to do the non-baked, so this fresh one first. I'm going to make the dough for this first, because it's best if it's left to rest. Then make the baked version, and then we can come back to this one and roll it out. So it's sort of like we're going to move between the 2 recipes. So I know traditionally, if you watch anybody making pasta, they'll do it on a board, but it does make quite a mess. And I've sort of, when I did this one, I sort of found that if you did it in a big bowl, then it still works. And obviously, I've only made this so far once, so I don't have any tweaks to it yet, as in, will it go through a stand mixer? I actually think it will, but I haven't tried it. Do I need all of the extra ingredients that I've added to it today? I don't know the volumes, as in, can I reduce them a little bit, or is this where we are? However, we know it starts with Panda, 100 grams. This is to make 2 portions. It's 5 grams of carbs per portion. Bearing in mind, that's about 1 portion there. Okay, so that's about 1 portion there, because I did some sort of like slightly thinner tagliatelle. I did the ravioli, and I've also done some that we've eaten and destroyed. All right, be nice out there.
Yeah, but changing the chain.
No, you're not doing it now.
Yeah. What is something to do?
I take it you're taking it in the garage.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Panda flour, some salt, about 5-7 grams. Depends. I'm going to get full of flour again. Okay, so one of the new ingredients is xanthan gum. It is essential. You can't make it without the xanthan gum. Now, currently, I'm working on 5 grams for this batch. Okay? 5 grams of xanthan. Make sure it's fully combined. Make sure that xanthan is fully mixed into the flour. Okay, so it looks like I'm getting comments from both Facebook and YouTube. So if you want to come and say hello, do so. All right. So following a slightly traditional method of making, well in the middle, get rid of the scales for now, 4 eggs. Now, I'm using sort of, these are medium fresh farm eggs. They weigh around about 50 grams each. If you're going to use large, you may need a little bit more flour. Not much, like 2 or 3 grams. That's all you're going to need. Hi, Karen. All right, 4 eggs. Oh, I need the scales back. About 30 grams of olive oil. So obviously, because we're using 100 grams and 4 eggs, you can actually knock this down to a 1 portion, single portion. So 2 eggs, 50 grams. Everything else should be sort of divide up as well. Just get a fork. Coco, you don't want to go outside. Yeah. Cool. All right. So it is I say I'm not convinced this is essential following a traditional method. I will do this in a stand mixer. It's at the bakery at the moment, so I will make it and see whether you can just chuck all the ingredients in and get it to combine, because it obviously is going to form quite a stiff dough. You want to make sure that xanthan gum has been mixed in fully to the flour, otherwise you're going to get like gluey lumps in it. So make sure the xanthan gum goes into the flour and is mixed in. Right, so once we've got to that point, it's start getting in and sort of just squeezing it together. It's going to be quite sticky to start with, but it will come together. It's going to take a couple of minutes of kneading. Hi, Christine. Hi, Kathy. Again, this is why I want to see whether it can be done in a stand mixer with a dough hook. So obviously the difference here is we're not trying to get the gluten to activate because there's no gluten in this. So we're just trying to make sure that we get a nice, firm, slightly sticky dough. All the flours combined, you can sort of see now. And give it another couple of minutes. One thing we've learned with doing any form of pastry with Panda is to let it rest for a few minutes. It'll help when it comes to the rolling out part. It has a little bit of stretch to it, has a little bit of give. So it won't run as smoothly through a pasta machine as a standard flour dough would, because it doesn't have the same elasticity. Right, that's not doing anything more now. It's a sticky dough. You can see, I mean, it's a beautiful colour. Those are the eggs. Great farm eggs. Your colour might be a little bit different. All depends on the egg quality. Right, so I'm just going to leave that on the back there for now and wash my hands, and we'll come back and we'll do the baked version. So I suppose the biggest difference between these two is what you can do with the two different pastas. The baked version, you could do the tagliatelle. You can cut it as thin as you want, if you want sort of like a spaghetti, or you can use it as lasagna sheets. What you can't do is make ravioli. Doesn't work because it's already baked, so you can't stick it back together. Whereas that was just stuck together with a bit of water. And I mean, I'll sort of do those two in a minute. So back to the older version. I mean, Christ, old version. It's only been out for a few months. It rapidly changes. 40 grams of cream cheese. So this uses less flour because it's using cream cheese as part of its base. So 40 grams of cream cheese. That is right, isn't it? But yeah, because it's a 2-egg version. Yeah. 2 eggs. Again, this is a single portion. So 2 eggs still, single portion. Essentially, they say the cream cheese is just replacing some of the flour, but this doesn't make a dough, this makes a paste. Rather than using a bullet, I'm just going to use this just to show you that you don't need any really special equipment. A bit of salt. Get it mixed together. Better texture-wise. All right, we haven't had a meal of this yet. We've done a little tester. I don't know if I've got a favourite yet, Lulu. I honestly don't. I don't know if I've got a favourite. Right. Just get the cream cheese mixed in with the egg, yeah? You can do that with a bullet or anything like that, just to sort of get it mixed in. And the flour, 14 grams. Okay. Quick. And it should make a paste. You don't want it too thick because you want to be able to spread this out thinly across the baking sheet. I know some people have asked about non-stick tray. I haven't got one that hasn't got edges to it. Show you what I mean. You want something that hasn't got these sort of edges to it, because otherwise the actual batter is going to sit in the edge and there's going to be very little here. So I don't have one that's solid. It's completely flat. Otherwise I'd try it. So that's why I use this. So silicone tray. Yeah, we're pretty much the same, Alison. We've had pasta probably at least once a week, if not twice a week. Although saying that, have we had it this week, apart from tonight?
I don't think so.
No, we haven't. No, we haven't. Spatula. Right, so yes, I know, Coco. I know. She really doesn't understand that it's not dinner time, but it's not walking time. So, just cover the tray. This is certainly the less faffy way of making pasta, yeah? So the rolling out version is going to be a little bit more faffy. So there'll be some people that will love the faff, and there'll be some people that go, I don't want the faff. Well, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. You'll still be able to make, your tagliatelle or most of your pasta dishes with this version. So all I'm doing is making sure I cover all four corners. I've realised that it's much easier to have the plastic tray, in a tray. Right, so let me just get this in the oven. Come on. Right, there we go. So give it a good shake just so we can get it nice and level. There we go. Right, away. 170, 6 minutes. All right, 176 minutes. Right, okay, so do you want me to start rolling that out? Do you want me to boil this so I can show you what it looks like? I'll see if I can do both. I'm going to move these to the back for now. Okay, it's only been resting for a few minutes. I would say let it rest for a little bit longer. Again, this is only the second time that I've made it, so I can't exactly give you a definitive time. It probably weighs about 400 grams in total. 339. 340, 170. So I'm going to break it into 4. So is it 340, 170? So about 85. 85. Now I'm going to do a couple of different things with this. Yeah. Sorry. How have I managed to be so low on that one? Right, there you go. Right, okay, we've got 4 fairly equal amounts. Yes, use a little bit of flour on the board. Obviously, you don't want to go mad with the flour. And actually, the trick that I sort of found earlier when I did this was if it does start to stick, a little bit more oil rather than more flour will help you roll it out. So it just stops it from sticking to the board. What have you lost?
You know when the dogs chewed open my chain box?
Yes.
Did you see a packet of grease and the linking?
Oh no,
No,
no, absolutely not.
because I
No,
only have the chain.
I've definitely not seen that.
Because I didn't move the chain over there. So either it's been lost when it was moved, or the dogs have stashed it somewhere.
No. So I'm just rolling this out, and it will go really thin. I'm rolling this out so it will go through the pasta machine. And we're just going to create a little bit more tagliatelle. It works better on the thicker settings, as in the thick tagliatelle rather than the thin spaghetti. That may be that I just need to add something, maybe a bit more liquid, but you can sort of see it's sort of holding up there. Don't need to trim the edges because we're going to run it through the machine, take off the perfect strips, and then with the bits, the outsides, can just get folded back into the next batch. So we've had this kicking around for quite a while, and attempted to use it a couple of times. But the only thing we've actually lost the handle. Actually lost the handle. Yeah, no. So I'm having to use a spoon. So I'm just gonna make space for it here. Yeah, just about. Okay, so this one's got 3 settings. You don't need the pasta machine because you can just cut this by hand. So I'm just going to show you with the machine that it works. But I'm actually going to make ravioli. So I've used the thinner setting. I wanted the thicker one. I wanted the back one, not the middle one. You say it works there, but I wanted this one. Hi, Len. Excellent. So again, don't worry if there's any little offcuts because they're just going to go straight back into the next batch. Essentially, I know you can't see it there, but as if by magic, we've got the tagliatelle coming through. What I wanted to do, really though, and I've sort of changed our meal plan for tonight, is to make ravioli. So I will cook that off so I can show you what it's like. I'll turn this on and we can cook some of this pasta off. We'll do some hand cut instead. See you later. Well done, Karen. So you can see it does give quite a lot. That was just one of those to make that. So it will, I mean, it's not even anywhere near as close to how thin it will go. I'm going to show you that in a second, but I'm going to use this as the hand cut tagliatelle. And it's only maybe 3 mils thick. Is that it? Yeah. So the baked version is finished. So all we've got to do now is wait for this to cool down. But there's the baked pasta. So I'm just going to set that on the back for now, and we'll let that cool down. Let's go there. So that's ready to eat straight away. Don't need to do anything more with that. You can add that straight to your sauce, and you're good to go. So no pasta machine, no problem. Just give yourself a straight edge. So I can't remember who asked. Alison, yes, machine. Obviously, this is literally just, brand new recipe. No real development on this, but this is something that could be manufactured. Now we've seen it. Yes, it'll need a little bit more stability. But who knows? Who knows? Right. Okay, there we go. So, hand cut tagliatelle. Just let that boil, and we'll pop some of those in. So, I'm going to use the rest of this to make some ravioli. Yeah. So for this, I'm going to roll this out reasonably thin first. Get some flour underneath. Yeah. Not worrying about shape or anything like that just yet. I'm gonna. Where's my round cutter? With these, and yes, this is going to take some time. Okay, thanks, John. This is going to take some time if you're going to make your own ravioli. However, I know there are some little trays so you could make a sheet of this, and it would work. I haven't got one. We'll give it a go. We'll see if we can get hold of one. So it's like an ice tray. And you lay a piece of pasta at the bottom, put your fillings in, and lay the next piece of pasta on top, and there's a cutter that presses down in it. But obviously, I'm rolling this out very thin. I can almost see the grain of the board through the pasta. Now, we've got a little cutter. I'm just trying to get it. Yeah, I can. So I'm getting it to the size that I can. I've got this tart tin. Get it to the size where I can cut that, take the excess away, and I've got a nice fancy edge for my ravioli. I'm not sure it's cut through it properly. Okay. Water is boiled. So these were the ones that I made earlier. So exactly the same pasta. They've just got a little bit of minced beef, tomato sauce inside them. Did I add salt? Let's give it another 30 seconds. So what I've done for these ravioli is I've got a ricotta filling for them. I've made a tomato and basil sauce to go over them. So obviously that size, you're not really going to get anything inside them. It's too small to actually make the parcel. And it doesn't really matter about the shape. Because you can always trim them up. But I've got them, sort of see, I've got them almost palm size there. Right, that's enough. You can see that, yeah. In they go. Shame you can't see it actually. I'm going to bring it to the back there. There you go. So they're both floating on the top. Yeah, you can just about see them both. Yeah. So this is just a ricotta with some grated pecorino and parmesan, chopped parsley. It's too much. And just seasoning. So just a small portion in there. Now, they won't seal like that without any water. And you can use cold water, but I've got a pan of boiling water next to me. So there you go. Just use cold water, it's fine. And it will just seal the edges. Now, obviously, the meat that I've filled these two with is fully cooked. The pasta will only take just moments to cook. And you can see that it's just holding up. It responds exactly like pasta. Now, providing I've got that seal done enough, which looks okay. Bear in mind, second time I've done this recipe today. So you know, let's see what happens. And the pasta's done. I mean, the two that I've dropped in there already, it's done. Let me just. Oh yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Look at it. It's firm. It's solid. I get a little dish. So you can see the water is rolling. Yeah? It's a proper boiling water. Interestingly, that one I haven't sealed it fully, but there you go. So that's the first two out. It's obviously hot, but it tastes like pasta. And as ravioli does, it tastes like what you put in it. There's our ricotta cheese. And actually, you can sort of see, I don't know if you can see this on camera, there's a little difference in the colour. Just because these have been sat around for an hour or so, they're a little bit darker, whereas this one, a little bit paler. But it obviously cuts and looks like pasta. Oh wow! Oh, that's good. So that's just a tub of ricotta cheese, some grated parmesan, some grated pecorino, a little bit of parsley in there, seasoning, done. All you got to do is Google raviola fillings, and you'll get hundreds of different recipes. Here we go. We'll boil some of this. Again, it doesn't need long. I mean, it's certainly not as long as standard pasta. Just a couple of minutes. Yeah, we're all good. So water was boiling, it's stopped boiling, so I put the pasta in. Once it's back up, it's done. So previously when we made this, it hit the boiling water, everything looked the same, but it hit the boiling water and then just broke apart. Just disappeared. Whereas now, it doesn't. I'm going to pop some of this in, because this is obviously the stuff that I made earlier. And again, it's a slightly different colour. It's a bit drier. And I think it might actually benefit from being left for a while. Hi, Katie. Yeah, Panda Pasta. Right, so I'm going to... I'll just turn that down a bit. So I'm going to pop the other pasta in. I want to see... how that responds. Again, I definitely think the resting period is important for the dough, because this dough is definitely, which has been around for about 3 hours now, is definitely firmer than the stuff that I've literally just made. Don't forget, this is just a bit of egg and flour. Okay, so we're gonna we'll get the baked version back out. Turn that down. So the baked version, once it's cool. This is where I'm not sure how it would work in the tin tray. It's not quite cool enough, actually. It needs to be a bit cooler to come out properly. It's been sitting on the hot tray. That's still warm. It's just a little bit stuck to the tray. Let's see if I can get it off. Now I've got it upside down. I really do need to get it off anyway, don't I? But I've probably tried to do this a little bit too soon. So do let it cool down. We normally sort of set one aside while we're making the next, and then make the sauce, and then come back to it. It's just a little bit too warm in the middle. If you've seen my previous videos, you'll know it just normally folds out. So this one's just going to be best as left as sheets, rather than trying to cut this into tagliatelle, which is fine. You can have something with pasta sheets. Okay. So, lesson learned, let it cool down properly before you tip it out. Otherwise, you end up with it sticking to the tray. However, yeah, that one's not fully done in the middle. It's just left. I've left it to sweat up there, which is mainly it's not come off the tray properly. I'm going to carry on making raviolis for our dinner. However, you don't need to see me doing those now, really. I do think that when we make the dough, and there probably will be some adaptations to this, some tweaks we can make. When we make the dough, let it rest a little bit longer. It definitely benefits because it's more stable once it's rested and dried out just a little bit. I'll actually dehydrate some of this, and we'll see how that then recooks, or as you would with normal pasta. Once it's been dehydrated, we go to which version? So we've previously dehydrated this. Yeah, we've previously dehydrated this version, so the baked version. I'll pop this in now while we go for the dog walk, and we'll see what that does later on when we reboil it, and see if it, because the dehydration will help the stability. Which one did we?
It's finished 2 egg.
Yeah, we dehydrated one. It just didn't work. What was that we were doing? We're playing. Oh, was that this? That was this version raw, wasn't it? Yeah. So we tried to sort of do this version, and it just didn't cook properly. So yeah, so it'd be interesting to see what happens now with this. Yeah. It just didn't soften, did it? Yeah. So yeah, it was very much like we created the soya bean pastas that are quite sort of bitty and chewy. Yeah. Whereas obviously you want it sort of al dente, but you don't want it sort of like, you know. Anyway, there's I think that's probably the biggest success, which is why we're going to have this for dinner tonight, is this version here. Actually making ravioli or shapes. We'll see whether we can get it through a machine to actually create macaroni or pen or anything like that. So yeah. So there are plenty of machines out there that will do it. But this is definitely a winner. Yeah, okay, right. I thought I'd bring that to you because we've been playing around with it for a while. Yes, there are always going to be some tweaks to be made. some improvements, hopefully. But that's the best stable version that we've made out of the fresh pasta for about 18 months. So I'll do a post about it later. We'll do some more work on it, and it may just be that we need to change the values of maybe either the xanthan or the oil, just to help stabilize the pasta more. Yeah. So the rain has stopped, so we're going to go and try and get the dogs out while we can, and then we'll come back and finish dinner. Thank you for joining. I'll see you all next week. I don't know what we'll do yet. We'll do something. Stay with me. Right. See you later. Bye.
Not very good at that.
Yeah, no. Bye bye.